Okay, it's fine. Let me try that again. Now it's finally time to go down the other route, I guess. Which we're going after the police this time, so. If it was a matter of him being behind bars or being eaten by a monster, Jared was much more willing to take the first option. Although he was concerned about Thorn's ominous mention of him being a sitting duck behind bars, but Jared couldn't think of anywhere else he would be safe from this thing. Jared quickly ran through the crowd, no longer worried about keeping up appearances. Once his eyebrows quirked up, but it kept up its pursuit. This is until Jared flagged down the policeman. First time the smile on the monster's face wavered, suddenly slunk back into the crowd, disappearing from view. Is something wrong? There's someone chasing me. Wait, he's Jared Varden. Jared was quickly arrested. Many people stopped and watched in confusion. Questions and rumors spreading like wildfire. Jared just hoped he wasn't playing right into Thorn's hands. I mean, it can't be any worse than the other two endings we got, so. And now we're going over to Samara. Mara walked down cloudy streets with a sense of urgency. Quickly made her way to the statue of a white hand. In its palm, actual flowers grew, trailed down between the fingers and near the wrist, which is something we actually saw earlier, before we got to see the real Cillian. Mara held up a device which emitted a white light. Cloud-covered stone parted to allow entry. She looked up once more to the cloudy sky before descending down the steps. Again, another familiar-looking place. At the bottom below the streets of Memora was a secret place, a place where guardians gathered. There she changed into a uniform and donned a band decorated with red flowers. And she waited for others to arrive. Guessing one of them weren't. Yep, one of them was Warren. First to appear was her friend, Warren. Not much of a good friend, is he, though? I'm glad you're here. You okay? What happened? Get ready first. I have dark news to share with everyone. For the course of the next half hour, several other guardians who mostly lived mundane lives scattered throughout the city, gathered and donned their uniforms. Alright, because he had called for the meeting, hadn't she? Because of the thing in the sky? All met in a meeting room. Samara addressed them. Nortman has made his move. Samara explained to the group of guardians what she saw in the sky earlier. We need to take immediate action. He can manifest matter again, that is a problem. But you said he wasn't able to break the barrier, right? Only hit it once. Yes, but that's not the issue. The hand hit a barrier from the inside. There was a moment of stunned silence. You mean to say he's already here? Trying to break the barrier? You're right, we need to figure out what's going on here and fast. So, it is time. We, the guardians of Memora, must make ourselves known. I mean, it's kinda not hard to make yourself known wearing a uniform like that, so. We had to make sure the other guardians who did not attend know the situation. I'll spread the news. With that, everyone started to spread into groups. Shame it has to come to this. If we had done a better job, we might have been able to stop this invasion before anyone knew what was happening. It can't be helped. Our enemy is a sly one. He has hungered for the destruction of the city for centuries. Do not have time for half measures. Going to inform the police. What about you? Healing Gardens. Going to check on the west ones by Maple Street. Why? I came back from volunteering when the woman mentioned that flowers were dying. I had a bad feeling about it. Sounds like a plan. Be safe. You as well. Samara emerged from their meeting place. She noticed it had started to drizzle. She idly wondered if she should grab an umbrella somewhere, then scoffed. Rain didn't matter now. She was a guardian. She was needed. Oh, this is a pretty looking gun. There was one perk of going into the guns as her first duty as a guardian. It was that she didn't need to explain herself. The overseer of all healing guns was a guardian himself. He was an older generation, too old to fight, but he was steadfast soul and wanted to keep contributing as long as he was able. Samara had written off his absence at the meeting as him being too far away to attend, or due to the nature of his work, too busy. But he was here, and Samara could guess why. Didn't seem surprised to see her, dressed in guardian gear, had a solemn look on his face as he greeted her. So, what happened here? A kind of corruption. Apparently it has been spreading for the last 2 days. Careful where you step, its tendrils are hidden. 2 of them walked further into the gardens. Samara noted the sick people laying in the gardens, and their loved ones were still present, albeit at a distance. It was supposed to be a safe healing of a place of hope, but at least its light might shine on those too sick to be healed elsewhere. A terrible thing, a place such as this to be corrupted. Is it safe for this place to still function as a healing garden? Shouldn't you close it down? Wish I could. Not accepting new patients, but those that came here before we realized what had happened cannot leave. Why not? The corruption made its way into the patients' bodies. They became more violently ill than when they came. So much so that moving them would probably kill them. I would not look too closely, my dear. It's an awful mess. See this place of healing perverted so? Shook his head in sorrow. Interest in the garden remains untainted. We hope that they can heal enough to be taken elsewhere before the corruption takes over completely. Pray that it will be so. I hope more that I can end this corruption here and now. As do I. Wish I'd seen all this earlier. Gardeners believed it to be a natural sort of rot. Can't blame them, as none of them know of Nortmire. I'm glad you came. Noticed a signal earlier, just before I arrived at this garden. About to send a message. How did you know to come here? One of my fellow community volunteers mentioned that flowers were dying here. I was going to come tomorrow regardless, but in light of what just happened, I have a hunch it was no coincidence. I see. The area they were walking in was indeed hard to tell what the difference between where the corruption was and was not. But the area ahead looked like a cave of decaying leaves and flowers. Rain stirred up as well, or stirred up an awful smell. One of the gardeners who was watching the area came up to them. Please be careful. I believe the rock can be toxic. Understand, and it will be. Not thinking of going in there. Gardener pointed a hand on the shoulder of the gardener. Mara heard the guardian begin to explain the truth of the situation to the gardener, but she stopped listening as she approached the deformed part of the garden. All noise but the sound of the rain hitting and dripping down the crackling leaves and petals seemed to fade away. She blinked slowly, sensing a menacing and living evil walked forward. Swear to God, if I see any evil eyes, evil glowing eyes in there, I'm gonna bolt out of you. She didn't know what she was looking at, but she readied her weapon. Light bearer, if there was a core. Well, if there was a core of something that planets were feeding off of, she would incinerate it. But as darkness and silence surrounded her, she started to wonder if such a thing existed. The enemy had already invaded, could have had time enough to introduce a corruption on the scale to the plants of this garden without some kind of device. She hoped not. Burning each individual plant would be time-consuming, possibly even pointless if the corruption spread faster than she was able to cleanse it. A tinge of fear shot through her. But the guardian would already too late. Both the invasion, the corruption, had gone unnoticed for long enough already, and its root had spread through the whole city, entangled, clutching at the heart and soul of the city, so tightly that nothing could break free. Now their eyes had grown to a weapon tighter. Darkness seemed to pulsate around her. Were the plants merely blowing in the stormy wind, or was the darkness intelligent behind them, watching her? A feeling of dread seeping inside of her. Was this a trap? She shouted as she was tugged at the endless expanse of black emptiness. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this is definitely not good. Mara's eyes widened as she floated through dark space. Was this real or a nightmare? Did she pass out? What's going on? All around her she could feel a million tiny eyes watching her. She shivered. It's an illusion, it must be. Mara closed her eyes and tried to concentrate. Isn't there a whole thing where you have a fear of the ocean or something? Could be that, and then a combination of the fear of darkness as well. If so, that's quite the combination to have, especially at a time like this. Didn't help. Eyes opened or closed, there was only endless emptiness. Understanding that things were watching her in the dark and something was coming closer. Samara's breath quickened as she sensed something huge approaching. Couldn't see it or hear it, but she knew it was there. Coming closer, slowly and maddeningly approaching. This was it. It was over. It had to be Norman himself. What else could be so big? Large enough to fill the whole city with its presence. Her breath evaporating everything good and whole. She gritted her teeth. She wanted to swing wildly to scream. Terror was overwhelming, but all the steel of her mind told her that she had to stay strong. Even with the crazed thoughts racing through her head, focused on one thought and only one thought. Concentrate. Gather all your strength into your light bearer. Swung it around in darkness and released a beam of light. No screams, no purging fire raged. Everything was just instantly and disconcertingly back to normal. Feet planted firmly on the ground. Okay, that was weird, but we're out safely now. Maybe. Unless this is all a hallucination. Mara gasped and bent to catch her breath. It felt so real. So that was the power of Nortmire. She had heard of these illusions, trained herself to escape them, but she hadn't even come close to imagining how terrifying they really were. The fact that they could ensnare someone within Memoria, a guardian no less, did not bode well. Yeah, and we maybe had a bit of an insight into the future, and yet it doesn't look good. For anybody, for that matter. She stood up and looked around. Caution was still there, but seemed to be slowly fading away. Must have destroyed the source without seeing what it was. Maybe for the best. Quickly making her way out of the dark parts of the garden, she approached her fellow guardian. You think it's over now? Thank goodness. Had to go and see how the other guardians are doing. Please keep an eye on this place and tell me if the corruption fades or recovers. Of course. Okay, and now we're going on to Warren's point of view. Great. Why do we have to spend time with Warren over here? In the event of emergency, the guardians were allowed to seize control of the city, despite the fact that few people even knew of their existence. This was because those who did not know about them were in high levels of command. Ron's first action in this emergency was to head to the chief of police. Because of systems that had been put in place for occasions such as this, it didn't take long to alert those in the known area across the city. Police officers at this station were quickly briefed. Many were shocked and confused at this turn of events. Warren was able to gather a group to aid the Guardians quickly. Warren leaned over a map of the city spread out on the table. A few officers who had already been briefed circled around the same table. So, what are we looking for? Anything unusual, really. Has anything odd been happening in the city? There have been a few mysterious murders. Children go missing from an orphanage. Witnesses' statements say a few of their bodies turn up, but they always disappear before we arrive. Recently we apprehended our prime suspect, Jared Varden, a private investigator. Ryan paused for a moment. See, perhaps he has been influenced by the enemy somehow. We need to question him. We also need all available officers mobile and on the lookout for any monsters, or distortions, people exhibiting unusual behavior. Report everything to us, Guardians. Well, as long as you're not gonna, shoot at anybody anymore, at least for now, I think we're good, hopefully. Back over to Samara. Samara, after leaving the garden, decided to head to the police station to see Warren. It was fully raining now, and night had descended. She let the rain wash over her as she walked down the street, tried to let her head and heart clear up. She was a guardian, and this was just the sort of thing she could the start of what could be a long battle, after all. Don't know why my brain just stalled on that sentence. When she arrived at the police station, Warren greeted her. Soaked. Brought a few extra uniforms. Here. You can change into one of them if you want. Thanks. Did you find anything? The gun was corrupted, spreading some sort of disease instead of healing people. I was able to cleanse it. I see, hunch paid off. So, how are things here? Actually, we have a new lead. Police apprehended a man suspected of killing several children from the Nightingale orphanage. However, he insists that he wasn't the one who killed them. A monster did. Monster? Do you say anything else? I haven't had time to question him myself. Let me guess, you want Samara to come along with you and you're gonna play good cop, bad cop? Been mobilizing the police and letting everyone know we're in a state of alert. Got some people working on a citywide alert we can send out. Is that really necessary? Yeah, I'm actually gonna be on Warren's side of this one, cause it is a little necessary. Is what necessary? Telling the public. That might cause a panic. Okay, good point, but the public are gonna find out sooner or later, and they're absolutely gonna panic when, the monsters come in and whatnot, so won't let it come to that. Shan't tell the general public. Watch out for monsters, obviously, but to keep an eye out for strange activity. So, human minds have the tendency to imagine the worst in any case, even if they can't imagine the real horrors that may soon descend on us. Fear is sure to spread over a vague announcement. And considering that nightmare is capable of, we kind of already experienced that firsthand, Warren, so Warren put his hands on Samara's shoulders and spoke in a gentler voice. Did something happen? Samara knows that she was shaking slightly. She quickly got a hold of herself. I caught up in an illusion. At least I think it was an illusion. I feel a nightmare coming from Memora. It was awful, but I was able to snap out of it by training. Or was it nightmare spared you, perchance? It wasn't of your doing, cause that could be even more terrifying, cause what would be his full power be like if he doesn't kind of be nice a little bit and ease off on you. And if you could take advantage of my fear like that, imagine what you could do to someone untrained. Right. Can't forget the past, Warren. Can't forget why we guys exist. What did happen? Yeah. I handle this as delicately as we can. But the severity of the situation also calls for us to play our part. Of course. Go question the suspect. What's his name? Jared Varden. Varden? Yeah. Mara nodded and had someone show her to the holding cell, changing into a fresh uniform. Oh, hello, Jared. Long time no see. Yes. Samara took a long look at the man in the cell in front of her. He was older and had a serious expression on his face. He wasn't in this situation, but he also didn't look like a serial killer to her. Then again, she'd never met one before. Heard you saw a monster. Can you tell me about it? He listened patiently to his story. How he had been searching for the killer and thought Thorn was involved. Found a connection to the Nightingale orphanage and was taken to the basement, where he was given to a monster as sacrifice. Can you describe the monster to me? The man looked tired mentally, as if he'd been through this story with other people and they didn't believe him. Need to know, Mr. Van, member of a group that was formed for the specific purpose of guarding Memorial from these fiends. So you believe me? Yes, so can you please describe it for me? Joe gave her as thorough of a description as he could, mentioning it had the ability to disguise itself as a human, describing that form as well. Thank you for your cooperation. He started to stand up. Wait, can you tell my family to leave the city? Mara stood up and looked at him. Thorn knew my name. He might go after them. Family will be fine. They will be placed under the protection of us guardians. Goodbye, Mr. Van. We'll catch this monster and anyone helping it. If we're not there to protect our little friend, then that's not going to end well. And our daughter. And we're back to Warren again, yay. Thinking we can get someone else on this route, that'll cover all the locations they are most likely to turn up. Officers nodded and went to execute their orders. Warren turned around as he heard Samara approach him. Quickly explain what she learned from Jared Varden. Right, I'll tell the patrolling officer to keep an eye out for someone with that description. She'd also tell Eislyns might be able to find this monster if she knows what she's looking for. Yeah. Warren stared at his friend. She looked exhausted already. Maybe you should go home, rest for the night. Maybe. What are you going to do? I'm going to check this Thorn guy. I'd like to take a look around the steelwork factory, but I'm sure it's locked up tight. Are you sure there's nothing else you want me to do? Might as well get some rest if you're tired. Who knows how long it will take to remove Nightmare's influence this time. Keep your device close in case of an emergency. Alright, good luck, Warren. She smiled and waved goodbye. Warren waved back and then turned his mind back to his mission. Oh, and now we're going to Insidia. Interesting. Seeing disappointment. Deep on the ground, a monster was waiting, patiently observing. She had been there for a long time, watching for the city, preparing. Sensed one of her kin approaching, one she knew very well. The only one older than her. She greeted him cheerfully. Good to see you. What brings you here today? Something the matter, girl? Stood there scowling, still in his human form. had to spend a lot of time in guise, and thus it was an effortless for him to don that skin, as it was for him to appear in his true form. That stupid human gave me one last sacrifice, a nice hearty one too, but it got away. See, I paused and stared, unblinking at Gore. Oh? He said it wouldn't go to the police, but it did. That is troubling. He's always been so careful with the sacrifices too. Missed out on a fine meal. Yes, and not only that, but it may have alerted the Guardians to our presence. Gal stared at her, puzzled. I thought she said that was to be expected, that some monsters have already gone into the light. The tune lined for a moment. Oh, indeed, dear Gal. Isn't anything to worry about. However, and it darkened again. I don't relish the idea of a human being the reason the Guardians learn of us, so anticlimactic. Gal scoffed. I don't see why that matters. They'll all die in the end anyway. A smile spread across his face once more. Yes, of course. We're so close to the finish now. Pretty much won already. This is a minor disappointment in the face of a glorious victory for all of us. Don't fret, Gal. Soon you'll be able to eat your fill without having to hide at all. It was Gal's turn to finally smile. Yeah, I definitely don't like the sounds of it, because I definitely know for a fact that I definitely got that meal, and it was a feast, that's for sure. Samara was tossing and turning half the night, nightmare lodged in her brain. Fearing that it might be the influence of the nightmare, she kept a light bearer activated by her bedside. Oh, she had a little nightlight. That's cute. Regardless of whether her theory was correct or it worked as a placebo, she was able to sleep soundly the rest of the night. When she woke, she was refreshed and ready to continue the fight. Checked her communicator and noted that some of the Guardians in the area were meeting, including Warren. Quickly dressed and went to meet them. Located some small monsters, but they were easy enough to get rid of. Me as well. Don't like the fact that they were willing to step out into the open now. To be fair, it was night. It might not be as active now that it's daytime. We can't know that for sure. We have to be extra vigilant. With the monster sightings get more frequent, we might have to out shelters or set up shelters or evacuate the city. Things have been busy during the night then. Oh, they have, Samara. Feeling better? Much, thank you. There's definitely been an invasion going on for a while. We're infested with tiny monsters, but they only just started showing themselves. Must be a leader controlling their movements. And the leader must think it's okay for them to come out now. I don't like their confidence. Neither do I. They must have a trick up their sleeve. And we need to figure it out before they act on it. I'll go patrol in the south. There were a lot of monster sightings there. I'll go with you. Maybe we can locate a nest. Two of them walked off, leaving Samara and Warren alone. It's only they started making out. That's alright. Okay, so, what did I miss? Apparently the Cillian has been gradually getting weaker for a while now. What? Why? We're not sure when it started, but she's having difficulty keeping a close eye on the city as she once did. If that's not what it's doing, then this invasion really might have started months ago. Hopefully, I hope it's just a coincidence, but we certainly can't rule that out. Also, Thorn is gone. He wasn't in his apartment or staying late in the office. Had some people stake out areas he frequents, but no one has seen him. Yeah, he's unfortunately, skipped town, along with, the lady at, the orphanage there. Could be wrong, but my guess is he skipped town. I literally just said that. I swear I didn't read ahead or anything. Too bad. We could have used his knowledge. Yeah, if he was willing to give it, that was. If he's responsible for this invasion, I'd like to see him thrown in a cell. What about the factory? I haven't gone there yet, but it'll open soon, so we should send somebody. I'll go. You sure? I feel a lot better now. I'd like to do something. Alright, so I'm going to head to the Nightingale orphanage myself. It can't be a coincidence that all the kids have been taken from there. He said goodbye and Samara left. Hopefully she could find something at this factory that would help stop this invasion before it started to affect the citizens of Memora. It took her a little while to get to the industrial area that the factory was located in. She figured that by the time she had arrived the factory would be open and running, but she found it closed and locked. Found and stared at the doors. This did not bode well. She decided to look for another way in. She'd break a window. Thankfully, that didn't seem to be necessary. On the other side of the building was another smaller entrance. She doubted it would be unlocked, but she decided to try the door anyway. Explosion shook the whole area. That's not good. I was pulling back, but she quickly recovered and ran further from the building. It smoked and smoldered. Of course, Thorn was 2 steps ahead. And she ended up smoking out all the evidence. The people ran out towards the factory grounds to investigate. I told them to get everyone out of the area since the factory might be volatile. She snuck closer to the door to try and see what happened. The basement appeared to have caved in and thick black substance covered the debris. Samara activated Lightbearer and the substance fizzled. Well, fizzed slightly, but didn't burn away. Why we in Alan Wake? So he was involved, Samara thought. Must be something important in the basement, but the Guardians wouldn't be able to get to it for a while, unfortunately. Decided to circle around again to the front of the building. Surprisingly, the shock of the blast must have forced the door open a few inches. Or Samara noted grimly something had opened it. Saw something skitter around the side. Cautiously opened the door the rest of the way, Lightbearer armed and ready. There was a lot of smoke. Alarm lights were lit a bright red, but they weren't going off. Instead, she could hear a lot of skittering and the sound of metal hitting metal. It's not a good sound, or a good sign. Quickly sent out an alert on her communicator. Then she slowly entered. Show yourself. She called out the door shut, the factory in darkness, set the light from the windows and alarms, increased the power being emitted by a Lightbearer to compensate and looked around. Smoke cleared slightly. Oh, hi! The factory was filled with monsters. Yeah. I don't know why she thought it was a good idea to step foot in here alone. They were humanoid and had metal stuck into them in seemingly random places. Many of them were crawling on the walls and could be seen as hands poked out of the smoke. There was one standing in front of the others, grinning in a menacing and demented fashion. Welcome to our factory. Samara narrowed her eyes. A talking one might be powerful. We used to use the metal for others, but now I can sculpt to my heart's content. Used to? Were you human once? Yeah, well, we did see it in one of the other routes where they turned the children into monsters, so... Monster chittered in an approximation of a laugh. Indeed, but I am free now to express myself. Flesh is a much better medium. My my sculptures, look how they move. I could use a new blank canvas. Stumbled towards her at a surprising speed. Disgusted and horrified, Samara brought her weapon down in a blaze of light. Searched for his skin as it cut through his flesh and screeched and jumped back. Ran into the fog and the other monsters rushed towards Samara. Like how that one hand at the back there is waving her goodbye. Samara gritted her teeth. Would have been tough to fight this many on her own, but she'd have to manage it. She rigged a speed light in a light bearer into a double-bladed sword, swung it in wide arcs, evaporating as much of the smaller monsters as she could with each swing. It was sad, she thought. They used to be human, and now they were reduced to this. She wished she could help them somehow, but she knew it was no wish she could act upon, nor she wanted to come out of this alive. One of them had snuck up behind her and yanked at her ankle. Fell down on one knee and whipped her sword around to strike at it. A few of them, seeing her at a disadvantage, tried to surround her. She nimbly jumped back up to her feet and took care of them with a couple of sweeps of her sword. She was glad her guardians had light bearers. One touch was all it took to get rid of the weaker monsters. The factory was almost empty of monsters as far as she could tell. She decided to take a moment to update the alert on the communicator, cautiously backing up against the wall so she couldn't be attacked by behind. Except there was something else there, hidden by the darkness and smoke. Oh great, you're back again, hi. Strong arms gripped her and the light bearer clattered to the floor. Samara tried to pry herself free, but the monster was too strong. Still had that horrible grin on its face, and it smelled like chemicals and burning. Calm down, I'll make you pretty. Brought down a giant nail and evaporated as the light exploded. Oh hi Warren, I'm guessing it's you to come be my hero. Nail clattered to the floor. Samara's hand flew to her throat. She gasped in air. Another pair of guardians stood in front of her to protect her from any other monsters. You alright? Yeah, thanks for saving me. Samara picked up her light bearer and joined them. Soon they had the whole place cleared. Oh, okay, so Warren's not actually here. Well, for sure it'd be him saving me, but